Hey everyone, I wanted to welcome you to class. I'm Ed Gutowski. I'm going to be your online instructor for English 300 this semester. And what I just want to let you know is I'm really excited about this class. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know there's been some transition to going to all online, but the books that I've taught and picked for this class have been a lot of fun. I've used them before and I think you're going to find them to be very engaging. One of the things I wanted to tell you about our class is originally our class was supposed to meet Fridays. It was a once a week class. We'd meet from Friday from 9 to 12. So therefore, what I'm going to do with our class is allow our class to have the entire week to work on class assignments, and then everything will be due by Friday at midnight unless I make some other exceptions within Canvas. So let me talk about all the books for class. And again, I want to talk about them. I used them, most of the books I used the last semester for my English 300 class, and they were a big hit. But some of the other books that I've used both for an online class and a ground class. And I've just found I got great student responses. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what your ideas are about class. So let me talk about the first book we're going to use for class. And the first book is this book here. It's called Into the Wild, and it's by Jon Krakauer. And it's a really fun book. It's an engaging book. It raises a lot of interesting questions because the main character of the book is a college student, similar to, I find, to many of the situations that some of my students have been in before. And he does something really foolish where he sells all his possessions, gets rid of all of his belongings, and disappears into the wild. And the author, Jon Krakauer, wants to kind of know what would motivate a kid who had everything going for him to go on, just kind of disappear and go on to this kind of grand adventure. So the first book we're going to start out with is Into the Wild. The second book I'm going to use is a book called Rihanna's Diary. And this is a brand new book that came out that scholars found that deals with the Holocaust. So we're going to have a section that will look at some Holocaust literature, and the first time I actually taught it was last spring, and it was right when we made the transition to go to an online class, and I got really good papers. Students seemed to be engaged by the lesson plan, so I wanted to keep that same lesson plan again. And then the last book we're going to look at is a book called The Hate U Give, and this is actually a great book that deals with issues of race and racism in America. And it really kind of relates to what we've been seeing going on, I'd say, in the last year about issues of police brutality, about race and racism in America. And again, last semester was the first time that I taught it. I got some really great papers, so I just wanted to come back and use that book again. Now, there are two other books that we're going to look at. We're going to look at a book called The St. Martin's Handbook. This is a book that will be really helpful because we're going to start our class talking about rhetoric and argument. And the St. Martin's Handbook is a great tool I found that really helps students understand key concepts of rhetoric and argument. And then the last book we're going to use is a book called The Siegel Reader Essays. And the Siegel Reader Essays, there's a series of short stories and some essays that we'll read throughout the class. It's a great book. It's generally been voted the best book that I've used in my class. So there'll be a series of papers that you'll write, reading some essays and short stories and kind of looking at arguments within them. So I just really, first of all, just wanted to welcome you to class, let you know what the books are. I'm really excited about it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you think of, whether it's with regards to rhetoric and argument, which is where we're going to start the class, whether it's what you think about Into the Wild, Holocaust literature, examining issues of race and race in America. And again, if you have any questions, you can just email me, but I'm really looking forward to week one and getting things kicked off to a good start.